Hello, this is the TradeSite Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 14th of June, ending Friday, the 19th, 2020. Welcome to triple expiration for June. Week of next Friday will be stock options, commodities, and futures all expiring for the month of June. This is the big quarterly expiration. So may have an impact on slowing the market down Friday as we head into summer here in Forex. But we just went over the results from May. It's a pretty good month of May, actually. Started out slow and picked up. So no complaints. Let's look at the dollar index here. Bounced right off that red static trend line, as you can see this week. So a little bit of back and forth range. Euro dollar is the inverse of the dollar index. As usual, couldn't quite get too high as the pound dollar. Didn't do much really. Drifted higher. We did all right. We had a couple winners. Wasn't a super exciting week. Again, Aussie dollar came back. Euro yen came back. Pound yen came back. Pound Swiss came back. And the New Zealand dollar pair also came back a bit. So strength in the dollar type of week, really net, although it didn't start out that way. Let's look at the two majors, at least the euro and the pound. We'll start with the euro dollar on 30-minute candles, and you can see high to low for the week's 200 pips, which is okay. Monday's horrible. Tuesday we get a move up. It's pretty abrupt though. Wednesday's pretty flat. Then you get the Fed announcement. You spike up to the highs of the week. Thursday's dead flat until late, and then Friday a little move down. So Friday's got the biggest range really net of the week. On the pound side, high to low of the week is about 320 pips. Monday and Tuesday pretty dead, a little bit back and forth. Wednesday not much, but it's after the Fed announcement that the pound dollar really declines. There's a whole 300 pip move over 2 days, so that was the big interest point really for the week. All right, let's take a look at the economic data coming out this week. Remember, we just got done with the Fed meeting, so that's out of the way for 6 weeks. New Zealand's FPI and visitor arrivals Sunday night. Right move HPI out of the UK. China's got their fixed asset investment, industrial production, and retail sales and unemployment rate tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. All these times are 10 p.m. Eastern. Tertiary industry activity out of Japan going into Monday. PPI out of Switzerland. Trade balance out of Europe. Manufacturing sales out of Canada. Empire State Manufacturing Index out of the U.S. Tick long-term purchases here in the U.S. We've got the Westpac Consumer Sentiment number out of New Zealand. Australia's HPI, the Housing Price Index. Monetary policy statement and the Bank of Japan policy rate announcement. So you got a rate announcement out of Japan at some point going into Tuesday. SECO economic forecasts out of Switzerland. German final CPI and WPI. Unemployment rate out of the UK. The Bank of Japan's press conference. Zoo economic sentiment out of Europe and Germany at the same time. 10-year bond auction out of the UK. Foreign security purchases out of Canada, along with retail sales here in the US. Then capacity utilization and industrial production here in the U.S. Then Fed Chair Powell testifies at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. Business inventories at 10. NAHB Housing Market Index at 10. GDT Price Index out of New Zealand. Current account out of New Zealand. Trade balance out of Japan. MI Leading Index out of Australia. Going into Wednesday, CPI and PPI and RPI out of the UK. Europe's CPI at 5 a.m. Eastern Time, German 10-year bond auction. Canada does their CPI number at 8:30, along with our housing starts and building permits. CB leading index out of Australia. That's a weird time of day for an Australian number. Crude oil inventories out of the U.S. Fed Chair Powell testifies again. Then we got the GDP out of the New Zealand that night. The unemployment rate out of Australia that night. Trade balance out of Switzerland. Got a rate announcement out of the Swiss National Bank. So that's a couple of rate announcements this week, right? So that's interesting. We've got ECB economic bulletin out of Europe, Italian trade balance, and then the UK has their Bank of England rate announcement. So another rate announcement this week there. ADP non-farm employment change out of Canada, along with their wholesale sales. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index and unemployment rate here in the U.S. That's the weekly initial and continuing number at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. CB leading index out of the U.S. Natty Gas here. National Core CPI out of Japan, and then the minutes from their rate announcement. Retail sales out of Australia. German PPI. We got the UK retail sales, public sector net borrowing out of the UK. Current account out of Europe. Retail sales out of Canada and our current account. and then that's it. So, remember, a lot of rate announcements this week, starting with Japan, and then moving to the Swiss National Bank, and then going to UK. So that's kind of the highlight, and of course then the triple expiration, which will typically slow down Forex for Friday because everything expires and it's already locked in place. And the futures, even though Forex doesn't expire, the currency futures do. So it kind of holds everything down. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.